What's up guys, and welcome to another track guide. This week we're at Road America with the Lamborghini Huracan for the GT3 series. And despite only having a small amount of time to drive this car and make a setup for this combo, it was just enough to turn my head around and start enjoying this track. I've always found this track quirky and lacking flow, but with a faster car like this, it was amazing how this layout transformed and started to make sense by rewarding me for good inputs. But that doesn't mean that it's easy, as the curbs and tight nature of this track can easily ruin your momentum and perpetuate your mistakes throughout the huge straights where plenty of racing action is going to happen. Just reminding you that our lovely YouTube members are getting access to all track guide contents with a 2-day head start compared to their competition. So if you want to become part of that group and support the work that I do, make sure you click the join button and don't forget to also join my Discord community to get the setups, ghost car, telemetry files, and all of the necessary information you need to schedule a coaching session with me, just like dozens of other LFM drivers have already done. Now let's get into the track guide. Coming into turn 1, brake hard using all of the available track space on entry and use the darker tire marks as your reference for braking. If you're comfortable with that, try to induce some rotation before the apex to allow you to get on throttle earlier and make use of the abundant track space on exit to build a lot of momentum. Into turn 2, we're going to use the darker tire marks as our braking reference once more. But this time, be extra careful to not dip your left rear tire into the grass, as the track keeps shifting to the right during the braking zone. Our main priority here is to keep the car relatively balanced on the way into the turn to allow us to get a strong exit with good traction. Into turn 5, brake hard in between the 300 and 200 boards, and remember to do all of your hard braking while going straight. Your minimum speed point through this turn can be slightly later than the usual, as the track widens by more than a car's width on exit, and we don't have to prioritize a good exit since the next straight is very short. Turn 6 is a very tricky and blind corner, so brake just before you go under the Corvette bridge and be very careful with the inside curb. Although it is recommended that you use it, applying any form of excessive throttle over it will result in a spin. Turn 8 is a corner that can be taken in more than one way, depending on what kind of car you are using. As the Lambo is not very forgiving over curbs, brake at the 200 board and aim to go deeper into the turn to make the most out of not using the inside curb too heavily. If you are driving a car like the Mercedes, for example, you can brake a little bit earlier and aim to use a lot more curb. The carousel can be very punishing if you don't try to minimize the mid-corner hesitation. Lift off the throttle very deep into the corner and let the car wash out towards the middle of the track, where you can then start adding the throttle and pulling the car to the inside again. This corner should be treated as a very fast and very long double apex corner. into Canada corner, brake just after the 400 board and take a very similar approach as turn 5. Just be careful when applying the throttle because the inside curb can kick the rear end of the car in a very funny way. For the last turn, brake about 2 cars lengths before the tarmac changes in color and try to set up the best exit possible by having a late apex and sharp turn in. By doing this, we can have an early reacceleration with the most amount of traction we can possibly get. So that was a lap around Road America with the Lamborghini Huracan GT3, and I hope this track guide was helpful to your week of racing in low-fuel motorsports. Thank you so much for watching and enjoy the hot lap.